take any questions.
But just to be clear, we're talking about the gun being stored, allowing the gun to be stored in the vehicle out of sight, correct?
Yes, sir.
So this issue about an armed bodyguard, why would you need, in other words, if the bill doesn't pass, or if it passes, what would be the necessity of an armed bodyguard bringing you back and forth?
Well, a good example is what would happen if someone tried to get in this young lady's car in the parking lot.
What I'm saying is you wouldn't, and I don't mean to interrupt you, Mr.
Oh, that's okay.
I fail to see what passing the bill or not passing the bill, and believe me, I think it's an incongruence in the law that needs to be addressed.
Yes, sir.
By me personally, by passing the bill.
Yes, sir.
In other words, we've already allowed guns in parking lots for everybody else. Probably shouldn't limit it to just the students.
Yes, sir.
But what I fail to see is the connection between how that's going to make it safer or not. I just think it needs to be, I think this young woman made a good point is, to me, it's the hassle of, I got to go to class now, I got to find somewhere to dump all my stuff and then come back for it, if that makes sense. Right?
What you're saying does make sense, but
that makes sense to me. This other thing makes absolutely no sense about if we pass this bill, there's going to be more safety. I don't think so. I think it's just because the gun's in the car.
Okay, well, I personally prefer to operate on data. I don't work very well in the supposition realm.
Well, but you're supposing something. Your data is, you're making a supposition based on
data.
I mean, so everything's a supposition. But I'm looking at the practical side of it, and the practical side of it is having a kid that is involved in, gun activities like hunting or shooting, that will now have to drop his gun or his piece off and his ammunition off campus at his friend's place before he drives. I mean, to me, that's a hassle when the kid can go everywhere else with the gun.
I think you and I can agree upon that completely.
But I mean, what I don't want to see or what I hate to see is this degeneration of the debate based on a real safety issue, because it's not. Like, it doesn't become that anymore. If the gun's in the car, if faculty member, professor, know-it-all, and no disrespect to any professors who know-it-all, is right now he has to have his gun locked in the car, right?
Yes, sir.
He's not, the gun's in the car. If he's going to get assaulted in the parking lot, that gun's not going to help him, right?
I agree that you can come up with scenarios today that situation wouldn't help him, just like we can come up with very known scenarios where it could help him.
I mean, remember the guy, I don't know, you were here that day. Remember he was actually a professor. He testified that the reason we needed open carry is because he was watching his neighbor being assaulted in front of him. And this is a guy that had a gun in the car. Remember? I don't know if you remember this. And I asked him, I said, well, you got a gun. Like, why didn't you use it to prevent the assault? And his response was, oh, it's better for the police to come. So, so my question was then, what do you need? How is open carry going to make that better? Like, if you're not going to pull your piece and use it because you felt threatened or there was a situation where it needed to be used, and you agree that the police is better apt to deal with it, well, then fine. Okay. But this isn't a safety issue. It's a practicality issue.
Well, it is a practical issue, but I would disagree. It is also a safety issue. But we can agree to disagree on that, but at the end of the day, it is more of a right. We can agree to disagree whether it's a safety issue or not, but it is a right that these folks ought to be able to, if they so choose, have that protection available.
I mean, I made a comment to Representative Moody right now. I said, look, we already got a dumb law in place about where guns need to be and not. We might as well go all the way on this because it's the practicality of it. Fix the practicality of it.
I can agree with you, sir.
If that makes sense.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
To me, it'd either be we don't have those guns in any parking lot, but if they're going to be there already, if the staff is going to carry them, and it shouldn't be that the kid gets to have to drop it off outside the campus. Like, if we're already going to be dumb about it, let's be dumb 100%. If that makes sense.
I just don't believe exercising your Second Amendment right is dumb, but we can agree to disagree.
I mean, let's just go all the way with it.
Yes, sir.
That's my point, is if we're going to go that route,
we'll let you and I team up and get it done.
All right. You know what? We're going to make funny bedfellows on this one, Terry.
Thank you, sir.
No, go ahead.
Any questions?
I was just going to say.
Somebody else had a question.
I was just going to say, Terry, just take your votes however you get them. So.
Yes, sir. He and I have a very unique relationship. It's a love-hate relationship, so we're good. Thank you.
Sorry. It's my wife, by the way. She said not to make those kind of comments in committee. She's watching.